Have you just come through the divorce process? Because today we're going to talk about divorce recovery. Hi, my name is Laura McGee and I am the founder of Leave Strong Divorce Coaching. I want to offer you some tips and some strategies to accelerate your divorce recovery process. First of all, what about your health? What's happened during this divorce process? Undoubtedly, you've had an enormous amount of stress. You may have gained weight, you may have lost weight, you may have turned to medications to help you sleep or to manage depression or anxiety. You probably stopped exercising, you just found yourself so busy that nothing seemed to fit into your schedule. This is time to take stock, time to reorganize, set your goals, your plan, and really create a plan of action that's going to bring your health back into alignment with your vision of yourself. How about your wealth? What has happened? Invariably, divorce doesn't just split wealth in two. It actually can often be quite essentially a carnage. So take stock. This is a time to fully inform yourself. Get yourself a credit report of your own circumstances. You might need to do some credit repair. Take a look at, do you have 401ks or other pension plans where you perhaps need to change a beneficiary? Do you need some life insurance to make sure that your children are going to be cared for in the event of some loss? How about a will? Do you need to redraft a will or perhaps a trust? You need to do some housekeeping around your finances, and you need to set yourself a budget, a new budget, for what your life after divorce is going to look like and how you're going to sustain some autonomy with life after divorce. And what about you? What about the happiness quotient? What are you doing to develop the new you? What's your vision for yourself and what's your plan? Did you have a dream of perhaps re-careering? Do you imagine yourself learning how to dance, perhaps spending some vacation time with your children? What are the things that are going to enrich you so you're not stuck in some victim place, still talking about a divorce that happened perhaps even years ago? How do you want to accelerate yourself, move forward, and basically have health, wealth, and happiness in your life? You're going to need a plan. This is Laura McGee, the founder of Leave Strong Divorce Coaching. Join me here at this YouTube channel and you'll find all kinds of tips and strategies that will help you with the divorce and the divorce recovery process. And at leavestrong.com, well, you'll find an entire community of people just like you who are seeking to leave strong. Unless you've been living under a bridge or on a deserted island, you've no doubt heard the term by now, conscious uncoupling. And you're probably asking yourself, is that one of those euphemisms or politically correct ways of saying divorce? Let's talk about that. Hi, I'm Laura McGee, and I'm the founder of Leave Strong Divorce Coaching. Today I want to talk about some tips and strategies for you to actually basically reshape your divorce so that you can think about whether conscious uncoupling is really right for you. First of all, is there really any significance in the terminology? Cynics would no doubt say that it's just a word and it really doesn't mean anything. It's something that's been coined and, we don't need to get too high on the vocabulary. I would actually disagree with that. And the reason is, typically, how we're speaking about things is really a reflection of how we're thinking about things. Think of it this way. Years ago when it came to divorce and when there was children involved, we talked about the custodial parent and the parent who had visiting rights. And typically the women were the custodial parents and the men had visiting rights. And just think about that. When we use that terminology, we start talking almost about ownership, as though the mother owned the child and the father was merely a visitor in this relationship. And over time, basically the courts and the family therapists and those involved in improving the divorce process came to realize that how we speak about it has a lot to do with how we then act on it. We talk now about parenting plans, about co-parenting, about timeshare with our children. We no longer talk about our children as though one person owns them and the other person is merely a visitor in their life. So I would suggest to you that if you move from the concept of a divorce, which implies an entire litigation process, an all-out battle, and start to think instead about conscious uncoupling as really being a language that more typically has had, at least for me, I've used the longer term. I like this term, it's more succinct. I've talked about a cost-conscious, high-integrity divorce for years, but I happen to like conscious uncoupling because it just puts it there in a nice, succinct way. So what does that look like? How do you have conscious uncoupling? First of all, you need to create privacy. it's not just for the movie stars. It's about maintaining a sense of privacy which keeps you in your integrity, especially if you have children. You know, the movie stars are worried about what their kids might read about later, but we all have to. This is social media era. We all have pieces of our life out there. So maintaining your privacy is going to keep some boundaries around how you have your communications. You'll notice that the conscious uncoupling typically involves a supported model, not necessarily using attorneys, although they often will definitely use attorneys, particularly on sticky legal points. But instead of an entirely a litigation model, it's a supported model. I mean, it might be therapists and parenting coaches, divorce coaches, and other types of resources involved to help people strategize and work through what can be a very high conflict and very difficult time in people's lives. And finally, what you're going to see about conscious uncoupling is it's a family-centric model. And I really see that as different than strictly a child-centric model. In the child-centric model, both parents are basically, revolving around the child, changing their life schedule. And it becomes, a great way to breed a narcissist if that's what you're looking to do. If you look at the family-centric model, it's coming to terms with the fact that although you are no longer going to be married and you're no longer going to be a couple, you are going to be a family forever. And how do you take that into your life going forward? How do you honor that? And how do you deeply respect and give your children permission to always belong to a family? That requires some conscious effort and thinking, planning, and support. My name's Laura McGee, and you're here at Leave Strong Divorce Coaching. Today we're talking about how you can prepare yourself and think forward and perhaps have conscious uncoupling instead of a divorce. If you'd like to learn more about the Leave Strong community, please join me at leavestrong.com.